Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for
You woke up irritated to the sound of your alarm clock constantly ringing on the side table. With a groan, you slam your hand on it to shut the sound off. Burying your head deep in the pillow, you close your eyes, but suddenly your mobile phone rang. You grabbed it from the bed and glanced at the caller ID. It was an unknown number, so you cut the call and were about to shut off your eyes when sound of your mobile phone echoed in your ear again. With a sigh, you answered the call. Who is there? Don't you understand? If I am not picking up the call, there must be a reason behind it, but no. You said and were about to cut the call when a lady spoke out from the other side. I'm sorry, ma'am, but 2 weeks ago you applied in a Jeon's company for a job interview and today you have been approved, so we called you to inform this. She said politely. You jumped off from the bed and literally yourself for behaving so rude to her. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Please don't approve any other candidate, my pretty sister. You said panicking, jumping on the floor. Excuse me, you are not my sis. She was speaking out, but you cut her off. Oh God, I'm so why I can't my mouth and let the other person speak first. Well, however, today is the day when finally I am going to join Jeon's company, which is multinational company that are gonna hire me after attending God knows how many interviews. I admit that my English was not good and communication skills are also not commendable, but my grades were not opted and I guess that's the reason they are hiring me for employee job. My dad left us when I was 7 years old and thanks to my mom who belongs to a wealthy family. My grandfather fulfills our daily expenditures and he never said no for anything. He gave me everything I needed as a child. Even now he wants, but I don't want to be a burden on him anymore. I want to stand on my own feet. I want my mom to feel proud of me. That's why I don't ask him for help and started to search for a job on my own terms. My mom never wants me to work as she has all her thinking, but I am stubborn enough. She also says that I am beautiful. That's why she gets more scared because according to her, beautiful things are. Well, I was never able to figure out why she says so. I ran to the bathroom as soon as I realized that I was running out of time. I did my daily routine and after a few minutes I came back as I walked to my room and ran to my closet to choose an outfit. I got myself ready in my skirt. As I walked to the mirror where I did light makeup on my face while leaving my hair waved to, I grabbed my purse and sliding on black heels, I headed to the downstairs before observing my reflection in the mirror. I looked beautiful as usual. As I winked, I reached the kitchen to grab an apple from the basket. My eyes fell on a clock in the kitchen and I came under my breath looking at it. It was 10 minutes late. What if they hire another employee? I thought in my mind. I ran over to my mom's room. I knocked over the door twice until mom opened the door. Before she could say even a word, I planted her forehead and then ran to the main door. Bye mom, I am going to join Jeon's company as they selected me, I said running outside. Though she called me several times that I don't need to haste, I should take care of myself, I should stay home and enjoy my youthful life. But someone tell her that if I laid myself on the bed and started to have fun, the rest of my life will be scared. Time skipped. Finally, I reached the Jeon's company, which heights are reaching up to the sky. I was looking at the tall sitting in front of me. It's not only huge but also beautiful. With a sigh, I held my confirmation letter tight in my hands and entered inside. I am really excited and nervous at the same time because I am still in wonder that how did they even hire me. After observing my communication skills, I gulped at the view in front of me. It was beyond my expectations. I never thought that company could be this much beautiful and elegant. The floor was marble, the huge waiting area where many candidates were waiting, the plants and some decorative items to add liveliness in the vast company. The leather sofas, marble tables, chandeliers hung up to the ceiling, adding more to its beauty. I looked for a reception area where a lady in red dress was sitting. With a sigh, I walked over to the reception area and wiping a sweat from my face. Excuse me, I was smiling at the receptionist. The lady was apparently busy with some paperwork. Yes, how may I help you? She said without lifting her head to see me as she was typing something on laptop. I'm new joining here, leave I end. I said and gripped on the letter. She looked up at me and let out a chuckle. I looked at her confused why she started to chuckle hearing my name. Lee Vian, the only one I talked with few minutes ago, Miss Lee Vian. I hope you had a great sleep, she said smiling at me. As soon as I got the sarcasm, I formed a smile as I was feeling merry. Confirmation letter, she asked, extending her hand to me. I gave her letter and smiled. Few minutes later, a girl came to me wearing a red skirt with tank top. Girl looked at me from head to toe and with a tired sigh she spoke out. Hey, follow me, she said coldly. I nodded, walking behind her while clicking sound of my heels was making me feel here as it was the only sound coming in the company, otherwise the company was quiet and peaceful. After a few minutes of walking, we reached the workplace where all the employees were sitting and working on their laptops. The workplace was maintained beautifully and everything here was arranged neatly. Even the pin drop could be heard, and when you are wearing high heels which click on the floor like crazy, every time you take a step you surely catch everyone's eye. They looked at me as if I belonged to Mars or maybe Jupiter. I bowed at all of them and smiled a little, but in response I got nothing except sighs and groans. So this is your seat. You are so lucky to have desk in front of boss cabin. Good luck, she said smirking and then laughed. She called me lucky. Why she is calling me lucky when I have a cabin in front of CEOs? What will I do if I fell asleep but couldn't as the boss watching me from his cabin glass door? I was quietly doing my work which was assigned to me one. While I was all focused on my work, suddenly I heard shuffling of chairs and everyone chanting good morning to the person. I was so engrossed in my work that I didn't bother to get up. Jungkook. I reached the office exact at 9 o'clock as I have an important meeting in half an hour. While I was walking briskly to my cabin, my employee working in a workplace stood up from their seats and burst down at me except the girl in black skirt who was still engrossed typing fastly on laptop. I don't know, but my feet stopped as I urged to look at her more clearly. My heart beat raced faster when I saw few strands of her hair falling on her forehead. Yet she had no concern with it as she was busy working, which made me quite satisfied, cause I encountered someone dedicated and passionate like me. She had nothing to do with her surroundings as all she was focused on laptop. I recall the days when I joined my dad's company. I was so passionate and full of enthusiasm. I worked day and night to take the company to the heights of success, and luckily I was succeeded in it. The same passion I saw in her eyes. She was so beautiful that I couldn't take my eyes off from her face, but then I remembered that I am Jungkook, who doesn't even glance at anyone. Clearing my throat, I walked to my cabin while fixing my tie. Arthur spoke. Time skipped. The office timing was over. While you were putting your stuff inside your bag, you were really tired. You did a lot of work. At first day of your work, you were at 16th floor, and it would approximately take you 15 minutes to reach the first floor. You didn't want to go by lift, also cause you feel suffocated and out of breath in the lift, so you grabbed your bag from the desk and with a sigh you started to walk ahead. A defensive flash, your arm swing behind you, not knowing who the person is. You turned around and saw a tall guy smirking at you. Hey, you are new here, right? I saw you in the morning. Leave I am, right? You are beautiful. By the way, my name is Shukai. He said, smiling at you. Thank you, but next time you can call me by my name. You said, forcing a smile at him. You said next time. It means you want me to meet you next time. How about tomorrow night for dinner? He said, raising his eyebrows. How about never? Look, I am getting late. We'll see you tomorrow. You said, walking forward. Shukai smiled, walking behind you. You are using stairs to go down? He asked, walking next to you. Any problem? You asked. No, no, why I would have any problem. I also use stairs because it makes me feel active and smart. He said, chuckling. Oh, by the way, I use elevator. You go by stairs. You said and walked to the elevator. As you wanted to get rid of him, he looked at you, shocked behind. You briskly glanced, creeping over towards the elevator. You nervously pressed the down button, waiting patiently for the elevator to reach your floor. Finally, you stepped inside the elevator as the door opened. But all of a sudden, you felt someone's presence and you groaned without looking back. You are getting on my nerves now, you said without looking back. The man cleared his throat, making you look back as he entered the elevator. Your mouth wide opened as it was not Shukai, it was someone else. He was breathtakingly handsome. It was your first time that you saw such a handsome man. He stared at you with his dark, intense eyes and you snapping yourself back to the reality. Hey, you bowed at him. What you didn't know that it was none other than Jeon Jungkook, your boss, but as you had not seen him, you couldn't figure out who actually it was. Jungkook bowed a little, looking at your face. He then pressed the elevator button down, but all of a sudden the lift jolted, sending you both to the floor and then came to stop. Oh, he murmured under his breath. What happened? You asked innocently, looking at him while your low voice shaking. I think there is a technical issue. That's why it stopped, he said coldly. Your eyes got widened. No, press the button. Call button press. He said, panicking. Jungkook looked at your face. You were sweating a lot, which made him to do haste. He quickly pushed the button, his hand shaking. The alarm went off. You both waited for a minute, but nothing happened. You reached past him and pressed the button yourself, but nothing happened. The lift didn't start yet. You had never been in this kind of situation. What do we do now? You asked him. They must be working on it. Please don't panic, he said in a reassuring tone. You nodded, but your breath quickened. While you were staring at the door, hoping that everything will be fine soon, Jungkook looked at you and tilted his head slightly. Are you okay? He asked politely. Yeah, I am fine. I'm just afraid of elevators. That's why I panicked. You said, trying to form some smile but couldn't. Don't panic, I am here, he said. After a few seconds, the lift didn't start. Suddenly, your breath started to get more and more heavier as you backed in the one corner. Your hands were pressing your head as you were feeling a lot of pressure in your brain. Jungkook's eyes quickly widened as he rushed towards you. Are you okay? He said. His worried eyes were showing concern for you. I'm not well, you said as your eyes were getting closer. No, no, please don't close your eyes. It's okay, the lift will start soon, he said, and you frowned. Before you could figure out what kind he was talking about, you blushed deeply, making him smirk internally. You lifted your head up and looked into his eyes. You both were strangers. You were thinking to yourself while looking at him, frowned and confused. I hope you are feeling okay, he said, leaning back while his nose and ears were red. Before you could ask him for something, there was an announcement. Maintenance team, Mr. Jeon Jungkook, we are really sorry for inconvenience, but all the elevators are down. We are currently getting help. We hope that you are fine inside. Wait a little more, they said, and your eyes widened. Jeon Jungkook, you said. Time skipped. You were on your bed, laying down. All the time you kept thinking about whether you should go to the office or not. Suddenly your room door swung open and your mom entered in. Mayan dear, aren't you going late for the office? She asked, sitting beside you. Mom, I'm not feeling well. You lied pulling the blanket on your face. You lied as you were afraid that if you go to the office and by any chance if you encounter by Jungkook, he will fire you. But dear, you joined this job yesterday and if you take a leave now, it won't be a good gesture, she said. But mom, I am not fine, you said. Jungkook spoke. I reached the office 9 o'clock and stopped for a while in a workplace area to see Lalvayan, but she was not there, which made me angry. Did she leave the job after what happened? No, I won't let this happen. I kept tossing and turning on my bed in attempt to sleep, but every time her innocent face came in front of my eyes, and I just couldn't help myself to sleep. I spent the whole night thinking whether I should go. She is ignoring me now. I called my secretary to Lee to give me her number. I grabbed my mobile phone from the table and dialed her number. You were struggling to sleep, but every time when junk comes in your mind, your mobile phone rang, which made you groan. You picked it up from the side table and answered the call. Who is speaking? Let me sleep peacefully, you said in your drum beat voice. Miss Ryan, I don't pay you to sleep, but instead I pay you to work. His voice made your eyes widen as you jumped on the floor. Mr. Jeon Jungkook, you mumbled. Yes, Miss Ryan, come to the office right now, otherwise you will do, he said in his cold voice and cut the call. You whined, putting your mobile phone on the bed and got up from the bed. Time skip, you were in the office preparing important files for him when suddenly Miss Lee came to you walking briskly in her high heels. When Mr. Jeon Jungkook is calling you in his cabin, she said. Your hands froze on the keyboard and heartbeat raced faster. I gulped down. You grabbed some important file with you and left for his cabin. You were thinking to yourself while standing in front of his cabin door. You had been known Jungkook since the time you saw him for the first time, but you were afraid to say something to him as he was your boss. Miss Ryan, come in. His deep voice made you tremble. How does he know I am out? You thought to yourself. You knocked at the door with your hand and walked inside. You saw him sitting on the chair. Jungkook looked up at you and smirked. Mr. Jungkook, these are important files. You placed the file on the table. Did I ask you to get them along with? He got up from his chair. He walked to you. Your heart was pounding heavily against your chest while your cheeks turned red. What happened, Miss Ryan? Why are you sweating a lot? He said in a teasing voice. You looked at him and forcing a smile, you tried to wipe off sweat from your forehead. I'm sorry, Mr. Jungkook. Actually, I'm feeling thirsty. I need some water, you said, and ran to his desk where a glass of water was placed. You grabbed it from the table and started to gulp it down. Jungkook turned his face to your direction and let out a small chuckle which you couldn't hear. Miss Ryan, before he could complete his sentence, the glass of water slipped from your hands and fell on the important files which were placed on the table. Your eyes widened and you looked at him. My files, he mumbled. I'm sorry, Mr. Jungkook, I was just, you were trying to speak out, but soon you were cut off, he said. You were blushing heavily while your heart was beating like crazy, which made Jungkook smile. Though he lost millions of dollars deal, but was extremely happy. Few hours later, boss, please, you said. It's okay, he smirked.